today, we're looking at the blessings of the covenant, the blessings of the blood covenants, blessings of blood covenants. We look at the part 1 last week Sunday, which Mama was the one that talked about it here. So I will take a step further from where she stopped. The blessings of blood covenants. God got the blood covenant with Abraham only in the Old Testament. Last week, there was a specific point that was established, that we have 2 covenants, the Old Covenant and the New Covenant. And the Old Covenant was cut. God cut that Old Covenant with Abraham. Then the New Covenant, God cut it with Jesus Christ. Are you with me? So, with that understanding, when God was establishing a blood covenant with Abraham, he did that with Abraham only. His descendants were only included by being circumcised. So the moment a man is circumcised, the man automatically partake on that same covenant that God had with Abraham. So the moment a child is born and they circumcise the child, what happens is that the child is connected to that Abrahamic covenant. So whatever blessing that is attached to that covenant becomes the blessings of that child. Are you with me, somebody? Are you with me? So likewise with the new covenant too. When we are talking about covenant, the key meaning of covenant is blessing. Look at Romans chapter 11 verse 17. Romans chapter 11 verse 17. Yes.
And if some of the branches be broken off.
And if some of the branches is broken off.
And thou being the wild olive tree.
Yes.
We're grafted among them.
We're grafted among men.
And with them partaking of the root of fatness of the olive tree.
And with them partaking of the root of fatness of the olive tree. Thank you. This place is talking about grafting. The Bible says that we were grafted into it. We were grafted into it. So that same blessing that flows in Abrahamic covenant also flows into our life. The moment you give your life to Jesus Christ, what happens is that God engrafts you into that covenant. What is grafting? Grafting is like taking another plant and joining it with another one so that they will grow together. So the nutrients that this one is using to grow is the same nutrient that will be passed into the second plant that was engrafted into it. So the moment we give our life to Jesus Christ, we were engrafted into that same Abrahamic covenant. So at this moment, we don't need to be circumcised. All we have to do is to circumcise our hearts. Oh, you are not with me. We established the point that the moment a child is born in Israel and circumcision takes place of the foreskin of that child is engrafted into the Abrahamic covenant. So that child begins to enjoy the blessings that flows from that Abrahamic covenant. Because the covenant that Abraham had with God is a covenant of blessing. So likewise with we children of God, the moment we are born again, we are engrafted into that Abrahamic covenant. So and by the reason of that, our heart is being circumcised, not our foreskin, not our physical flesh is being circumcised. It is a heart. So the moment you are born again, your heart is circumcised and you are engrafted into the Abrahamic covenant. Every blessing that flows from Abraham will also flow into your life. Are you with me, somebody? Are you with me, somebody? So in Deuteronomy chapter 28, God pronounced the blessing that would come to those who faithfully walk with him and obey him, and also the curses. So in Deuteronomy chapter 28, we saw some of those blessings that God released into the life of Abraham. That is Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 3 to 10. We saw that, and as a result of that, these were the blessings that were operating in the life of Abraham. And every child of God that has been engrafted through born again, and their heart has been circumcised. Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 3 to 10. That will be the blessing that will be operating in their life. Can we read few of the blessings?
Deuteronomy 28 from verse 3.
Yes, let's read few verses and see the blessings.
Blessed shall thou be in the city,
Blessed shall thou be in the city,
and blessed shall thou be in the field.
and blessed shall thou be in the field.
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy body,
Blessed shall be the fruit of thy
and
body,
the fruit of thy ground,
and the fruit of thy
and
ground,
the fruit of thy cattle,
and the fruit of thy cattle,
the increase of thy kind,
and the increase of thy
and the
kind.
flocks of thy sheep.
Okay, that is fine. When you reach home, you read the rest. So these are the blessings. So the moment we are born again, we are engrafted into these blessings. We are engrafted into this covenant to enjoy these same blessings. Now, in the days of David, the covenant that God had with Abraham was at the peak. We saw the manifestation of covenant at the peak in the days of David. David was a man that walked in the Abrahamic covenant. So he understood what the Abrahamic covenant is. And that was why when he came to confront Goliath, he was so surprised that Goliath was defiling covenant men. So David was so amazed that how can Israel that are covenant men, that are engrafted into the Abrahamic covenant, and Goliath is defiling them. 1 Samuel chapter 17 verse 26. What did he say?
1 Samuel 17 and verse 23.
26.
Says, and David spake to the men that stood by him,
And David spoke to the men that stood by him.
saying, what shall be done to the man that killed the Philistines,
What will be done to the man that killed the Philistines?
and taken away the reproach of Israel?
Yes.
For who is the uncircumcised Philistine,
Who is this uncircumcised Philistine
that he should defy the armies of
that he should defy the armies of who? Of the living God. Okay, that is fine. That when you read 1 Samuel chapter 17 from the beginning, you will realize that those soldiers, they said they were armies of Saul. Because they didn't understand that they were covenant men. So they thought that they were armies of Saul. But David knew about the Abrahamic covenant. And he said that who is this uncircumcised Philistine that is defiling the armies of God? What does that mean? Is that who is this man that is not in covenant, that is defiling men that are in covenant? Are you with me, somebody? Who is this man that is not in covenant, that is defiling men in covenant? What that means is that it is an error for you as a child of God that is in covenant with God, and a Goliath that is not a covenant man is defiling you. Many people are being defied, are being destroyed by uncircumcised Goliath, men that have no covenant with the Almighty God. A man that has a covenant with the Almighty God is a man that is above all things on earth. You were taught last week that the moment Abraham entered into a covenant with God, all that God has entered into him, and all that he has, he gave it to God. Because a man that has a covenant relationship with God will give God his best, and God will give him his best too. Are you with me, somebody? He will give God his best, and God will give him his best. So the moment you enter into a relationship with God by salvation and by connection, what happens is that the glory that God carries, God gives it to you, and God will begin to come and demand for your best. And that was why when Abraham entered into covenant with God, God came to demand for Isaac, which was his best. Are you with me, somebody? There was a man called Harry Stanley. This man was sent from UK to come and find a man called David Livingstone. David Livingstone was one of the first missionary gospel that invaded Africa. So the UK, the Europe government, they didn't hear from David Livingstone. So they sent Harry Stanley. And when he came to Africa, he began to move from tribes to tribe, cities to city. Then he came in contact with a tribe. And this tribe said that he cannot buy and sell among them, and they will not allow him to pass. And then they now said that the only way they can trust him is if he will enter into a blood covenant relationship with them. And what happened was that they brought a cup. He cut his hand. He put the blood inside the cup. The chief of the tribe also cut his hand, put the blood inside the cup, and they entered into a covenant. He drank out of it. The chief of that tribe drank out of it. And the moment they did that, they became blood brothers, not by birth but by covenant. We have nothing to do with the kingdom of God, but because a blood covenant was established between us and God through Jesus, now we have become citizens of God's kingdom. Are you with me, somebody? We have become citizens of God's kingdom. We are known to be Gentiles. Gentiles are people that have nothing to do with the kingdom of God. We were not chosen by God. The people that were chosen by God were the Israelites. But Jesus came and established a blood covenant between us and God. And by so doing, God now had trust for us. Now we now became citizens of God's kingdom. So God cannot trust us with his resources. God cannot trust us with his blessing. Initially, he couldn't trust us. He was afraid of us. But because Jesus established a blood covenant between us and God, then that relationship between us and God will now become cordial. That was what happened between Henry Stanley, and the chief of this tribe. And the moment that was established, then the chief of that tribe told Henry Stanley, give me your best gift. And his best gift was a goat. He had ulcer. So from that goat, he takes milk from there to treat his ulcer. And he told the man that this is my best gift. That if you take this goat away, what of my ulcer? How am I going to cure my ulcer? How am I going to be maintaining my ulcer? He said, give it to me. And eventually the man gave the chief of that tribe his goat. Now the chief of that tribe gave Henry Stanley his staff of authority. There was an exchange. So the moment covenant took place, the Henry Stanley gave the chief of that tribe his best gift, and the chief of that tribe gave Henry Stanley his own best gift. So the moment a blood covenant was established between us and God, God gave us all he had, and God is also demanding all we have to. Are you with me, somebody? So a man that is working a covenant relationship with God should know that the moment he enters into that covenant, all that God has belongs to him. And as time goes on, God will begin to demand for what that man has to. And that is why you can't walk with God without making tangible sacrifice. Are you with me, somebody? See, the government that has been installed in Nigeria today, many of you didn't want that government, but that government won the election because there was a blood covenant. They don't need your approval for them to sit on that throne. They went somewhere and they met with a spirit and they established a blood covenant. So all the authority and power that spirit has, they took it on. And the spirit also demanded for their best. Some of them said, give me 10 virgins. Some will say, give me 20 men. Some will say, give me your only son. And they will take their only son and sacrifice on that altar. And the blessings that spirit have will be transferred into the life of that man. When that man steps out during the day of election, whether you like him or you don't like him, you will win that election. Because he's in a blood covenant relationship with the deity. And you that you are a child of God, you are a child of God, you have the altar, you have God, you have Jesus, you have your prophet, you have your high priest. You want to go and contend with a man like that, and what you will now do is that at midnight you will wake up, and all you have to, all you are doing is to speak in tongues. When somebody has gone to give a deity his best, and you expect that you will win that election over that man because you are a child of God. No. The Bible says that the children of this world are more wiser than the children of God. That man has been able to establish a blood covenant. And how did he do that? He gave that deity his best, and the deity gave him his own best. And you are contending with that kind of man. You have not been able to give God your best, and you are expecting God to give you his best. This is why many children of God, they enter into battle with the children of this world over certain position, and the children of this world wins over them. God is a principle God. God is a God that follows legality. God does not fail, but God will fail you over a man that has a blood covenant relationship. Oh, you are not with me, somebody. God does not fail, but God can fail you when he sees a man that has a blood covenant relationship with a deity. And the Bible said that the children of Israel, there was a battle between them and the Moabites, and they went to meet the Lord and asked the Lord, should we go or we should not go? And God said, go, you will defeat them. And they went into the battle. These men went into the battle and they began to fight. They began to fight. They began to fight. As they were fighting, they were dealing with the Moabites. And when the Moabites saw that the children of Israel were killing them so much. The king of the Moabites said he called his first son, which was the heir to his throne, and said, come, I want to show you something. This battle, I want to tell you something about this battle, how we are going to strategize. And he took the young man and took his head and smashed it on the wall. And when God saw that blood, what happened was that God turned against his own children. Oh, you are not with me. God turned against his own children. And when he turned against his own children were surprised. They didn't know that God has seen blood. Every spirit likes blood. Are you with me, somebody? Every spirit likes blood. And it's not about you taking human being and sacrifice. Your best is the blood. Your best gift is the blood. The Bible says that Cain and Abel came before God, and God demanded for a sacrifice. And the Bible said that Abel brought animals that were filled with blood, and Cain brought fruits that were already spoiled. And when God looked upon the sacrifice, he decided to pick Abel's sacrifice and say, Abel, I love your sacrifice. Oh, you are not with me. You are not with me. You are not with me. So when God saw that the Moabite has entered into a blood covenant, God had to turn his back against his covenant children that are speaking in tongues morning and night. Do you think that people enter into a high position just by speaking in tongues? You don't know that they enter into a high position by sacrificing, by establishing a blood covenant. Somebody said that God gave him an encounter, and he went under Niger Bridge and he saw all the cauldrons or bowl or what do they call it? Cauldrons of blood that belongs to past presidents. You think that they just became president just like that. You don't know that they have been able to enter into a blood covenant relationship with the spirits. So even though you are a child of God and that person does not know God, and they come, the people, even though they don't like that person will win that election. So when you are in a blood covenant relationship with God, by sacrificing your best, anytime you sacrifice your best to God, automatically a blood covenant relationship has been established between you and God. And whatever battle that is confronting you, you will subdue it. Because all the glory that God has installed it inside of you. At that moment, when the battle sees you, the battle does not just seize you, the battle sees God. Oh my God. And the Bible says that the enemy will come like a flood, and the Lord will raise a double what? Standard against them. Are you with me, somebody? The Lord will raise a double standard against it. The only way we can see the Lord raising a double standard is when that man is in a blood covenant relationship with him. And David said that, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? A man that has no blood covenant relationship. Why is he defiling men that has blood covenant relationship with God? And David marched with this understanding that I have a blood covenant relationship with God through Abraham. This is who I am. And he went and he confronted Goliath. And the moment he confronted Goliath just with stones, the covenant was activated. David could not have killed that Goliath with stone. But why stone killed the Goliath was because David was a covenant man. So he was not alone. There were spirits that has been assigned to work with him. And when he released the stone, those spirits migrate with the stone, and they make sure that the stone entered into the head of that Goliath. You can't be in covenant relationship with God, and God will not work for you. When you read the exploit of the mighty men of David, we saw that these men were covenant men, and they understood that they were covenant men, and they lived their life in the benefit of covenant. And that is when you will see that one man was able to kill 800 men in a single combat. And the Bible said that one of the mighty men of David took sword, and as he raised the sword, 300 men went down. These mighty men, they were men of covenant. And when they go into battle, arrows does not penetrate into their body. Oh my God. This is more reason why I know that every battle that confronts me as a covenant man can subdue me. Are you with me? Because I am fully fortified by covenant. When you are in covenant, you are fortified. And every arrow that the enemy release into you will not be able to penetrate into you. Are you with me, somebody? When the enemy release the arrows will hit and go back. And when it goes back, it's going back in 100-fold. Are you with me, somebody? Are you with me, somebody? These men will go for battle, and when they go for battle, arrows will be released and it will not enter into them, because their skin has been immortalized with covenants. Are you with me, somebody? Their skin, their body, their lungs, their kidney has been immortalized with covenant. So by the reason of the activation of covenant, they become immortal men. Are you with me, somebody? They become immortal men, that no battle will be able to subdue and destroy them. The reason why you are being subdued by battle is that you don't have a blood covenant relationship with God. Are you with me, somebody? You don't have a blood covenant relationship with God. And this man, the Bible said that when Joshua was being commissioned and he was about to go to war, and he saw a man, and he asked the man, "Are you for us or you are against us?" And the man said, "Where you are standing is a holy ground. Pull off your shoe." And he pulled off his shoe. That man that came to meet with Joshua, he introduced himself as the Lord of hosts. The Lord of hosts is Jesus himself, and he only appeared to men that have a covenant relationship with him. And what happened in that verse was, what happened in that scripture was that Joshua was being baptized with the spirit of war. What that means is that as Joshua goes to battle, no battle will be able to swallow him. Are you with me? The angel, the God of his covenant appeared to him. And the Bible said that Joshua and his men will go to war. People will be up there. Are you with me? Stones will be coming down. And as those stones are coming down, those stones will kill more people than the sword that Joshua and his men will kill. Are you with me? When they will look around, they will notice that people are dying. They don't know why they are dying. Why they are dying is because the covenant is working. Are you with me? The covenant is working. And then we go over to a city. And the Bible says that the fame of Israel went around the whole continent. And the cities and nations, they became afraid of Israel. And the only way they were able to do those mighty works was because they were infused into covenants. Are you with me, somebody? These men have physical strength, physical prowess, to the extent that they could use their hand and kill lions. Are you with me? They could use their hands and kill lions. They were able to shut the mouth of lions because they were covenant men. When Daniel was thrown into the lion's den, the moment he entered into the lion's den, the lions did not sit down and they saw another lion. Oh my God, you didn't hear me. They didn't sit down and they saw another lion, because Daniel was connected to the lion of the tribe of Judah. So the moment Daniel entered into the lion's den, and the lion looked at it and said, "This is our type." Oh my God, because he has already taken the nature of the lion of the tribe of Judah. So when he entered, the lions looked at him. They didn't see woman, they saw the lion of the tribe of Judah. And that was why they began to play with him. They began to touch him. "You look like me. You are my brother." It's not that he is his brother. It's just that he has taken the nature of the spirit of the dead. So the moment you enter into a blood covenant relationship with God, first through salvation, the second step is by giving God your best gifts. Your best gift. You take your best over a matter and you sacrifice it to God. By so the works you have done is that you have established a blood covenant in regards to that situation. And when you go back to that your workplace, when you go back to your business place, when you go back to that school, whatever issue that is confronting you there, when they look at you, they say, "No, we didn't mean it that way. We didn't mean it that way." Because you have taken the nature of Jesus. Anywhere Jesus appear, he must be favored. So anywhere you now appear, favor must follow. See, it is not a difficult thing to get there. It's just that many of us, we don't want to do the right things. Are you with me, somebody? Many of us, we don't want to do the right things. For 40 years, we saw that the children of Israel walked through the whole of Egypt, walked through the neighboring country, and their clothes did not get spoiled. They never fell sick for one day. They were preserved in wilderness. Their clothes never got old because they were in a covenant relationship with God. Health, divine health. The only way you can get divine health is when you get connected to God through blood covenants. The only way you can get wealth is when you get connected to God through blood covenant. The moment Abraham did that with God, what God did was that God gave Abraham wealth. All the goats, all the goats, cow that is in heaven, God transferred it from heaven down to earth because it's not needed here. The only way that the blessings of God can be transported from heaven down to earth is through the vehicle of covenant. By the reason of the vehicle of covenant, God will transport it and bring it down into your life. And when it comes into your life, because those items are not needed up there. Where we need it is here on earth, but they are all kept here. And if we want it to manifest on earth, all we have to do is to activate the vehicle of covenants. I have a lot of covenants with God. I have a lot of covenant with God. You can't do anything to me that will get to me. Because those that are around me are more than those that are in this world. Are you with me? When God called me, after an establishment of covenant, God gave me first of all 10,000 angels. In that vision with him. And the angels came and said, these are about 10,000. He said, start with this first. So this is the more reason why I know that those that are with me are more than those that are with them. And these spirits were given as a result of the activation of what? Of covenant. And the moment that happened, my name was also changed too. Are you with me? Because when God established covenant with Abraham, God also changed the name of what? Of Abraham. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. So by the reason of the covenant that Abraham had with God, all the mighty men of Israel, their blood was mixed with the blood of God. Have you watched Hercules? When the gods came and mingled with mortal men, they gave birth to a man called Hercules. Hercules was a god on earth. Automatically, Hercules was a god. Are you with me, somebody? That is what happens when a covenant relationship is established between God and a man. That man becomes a god on earth. He becomes very strong. You can't defeat him. You can't defeat him. Are you with me, somebody? You can't defeat him. So, when Israel began to do mighty works, one thing that Israel failed in was that they began to break covenants. They were breaking covenant in every area of your life. It came again. If you can keep yourself pure, you will ascend and you will be with me where I am. It came again. If you can keep yourself pure, you will grow, you will become so great on earth. Maybe you have that kind of covenant of purity with God. There were about 5 of those things. If you can keep yourself pure, this light that men see will not depart. Are you with me? So I knew that my greatness on earth can only take place if I give into purity. Since I want to be great, even though you are beautiful like the whole heavens and the whole earth, my eyes are shut. Many people have lost the blessings of God because they didn't keep to the covenant of purity. They didn't keep to a particular covenant. I remember when I was in secondary school. Then I was so good, very good, and I was always taking first, second. So because I wanted to be on top, one day I went home. I went to meet God. I said, God, if I keep taking first, I will never listen and dance to godly music. It sounds childish, but God heard it and established it. Do you know that I was taking first and second? One day I heard a song. Then I took the song. I began to listen to it with my ear, so nobody will know that I'm vibing to this song. I was just listening. Then I began to shake my body. As I was shaking my body, that day I took 8 positions for the first time in my life. From my just one till I left school, while I was in secondary school, I was just taking first. But that time I took 8th position. So one made that when we finished secondary school, they gave me exceptional best student award. You understand? But that time I took 8. I took 8 because I broke covenant. So I didn't even go to 10. I didn't even go to 4. I went down to what? To 8. 8 I'll be 7th then. I went home, I cried. I said, God, please, I will not do it again. So I had to reinitiate the covenant. And the following 10, I think I took first that time. It sounds simple, and when because then we're still growing up. You understand? So there were some certain things we want to do to that certain things we do that looks childish and sound childish. But those things, when you look at it carefully, there are great truths inside of it. Are you with me? And that was what happened. Then when we were about to graduate from secondary school, I began to live some kind of lifestyle. You know what happened? We wrote GC. They just helped me to arrange it well. Put the F in 3 places, put the T's in 3 places, and now put E in 3 places. So I told her, I said, that is GC. And in my job, I've already gotten like 221 then. So I said, that is GC. Maybe when we come to Iwaye, then the same thing happens again. I kept on doing my thing, whatever I want to do. I kept on doing my thing. So I even went to Iwaye, and there was one girl in our Iwaye center then. Me and the girl were moving up and down. So everybody in Iwaye then already knew that we were husband and wife. And you know, we wrote the Iwaye. When we wrote the Iwaye, result came out. They said, the school was in blacklist of Iwaye. I checked my results. This one, it was E, and F. I couldn't eat and drink for like 3 days. Say, don't joke with God. Are you with me? Don't joke with God. See, I was doing those things and I was still working for God. Are you with me? But God did not look at what I was doing. God was looking at the covenant. You are not keeping to it, so you can't move forward. Are you with me? They didn't know what I had to now go on. I went to now look for jobs. Me and my friends. Then my friends, they picked them, they left me. We will go again, me and some of my friends again. We will submit, they will pick them, they will leave me. That was when I knew that something is wrong with my life. Something is actually going on wrong. One day I had to sit down. I think about my life. You know what next I did? I had a voice from God. Start 3 hours praying. I started from 3 hours. I began to do every day because there was no work. Nobody was at home again. So every morning, 3 hours, like that. Before you know, I enter 7 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours because I didn't have job. Then GC wanted to start. By that time, I make sure everything was in place. I went and said that GC, I wrote it with frustration. And when we finished, because covenant has been reinstalled and reinitiated, and even where I thought I would not get a whole further month, they gave me A. From where to where? They gave me A. I did A, B's, and like one or two C's. There are some men that are operating in this world. They have lost their place in God because they lost their covenants. The day you lose your covenant, you will lose your place in God. And that is the day you will know that whatever you actualize is not by strength, it's not by power, but by the Spirit of what? Of the Lord. Are you with me? When the Spirit of the Lord begins to assist a man, be rest assured that that man has a covenant relationship with God. Because God cannot assist a man that has no connection with. As a matter of fact, God does not trust man. And that was why he said in Genesis chapter 6, he said, oh, my soul, my spirit will no longer strive with the spirit of man again. Because at that point, God lost every trust he has for man. And if God wants to trust you, a man again, what God will do is that God will establish a blood covenant relationship with that man. Before he can entrust his resources into the hands of that man. Are you with me, somebody? How I know that no matter what the devil does, no matter what the enemies on earth does, that I will still become what God has said I will be, is because I have a blood covenant relationship with God. The reason why many of you, the witches, are dealing with you is because because they have a blood covenant relationship with the spirit of witchcraft. You don't even have a blood covenant relationship with your God. Every night they bring a baby. They save the baby and they drink the blood. So they'll say they should bring their first child. They'll go and bring their first child. They'll take their first child and drink the blood. And you, that you thought you're not even giving God your best gift. You're not giving God, all you do is to speak in tongues. And now, when you now see them in the dream and they come to confront you, they want your name. You say Jesus, 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 Jesus. Even Jesus is not even answering because the system does not recognize that voice. Are you with me, somebody? The system does not recognize that voice. The system only recognizes the voice of man that has established a blood covenant relationship with God. And that was why the 7 sons of Sceva, they came and they wanted to cast that demon. And when they came, the demon looked at them. And the 7 sons of Sceva said, demon, come out. They put their ear again. The 7 sons of Sceva said, demon, leave. They spoke to them and said, this one is not part of the system. And they asked them, Jesus I know, Paul I know, Peter I know, who are you? These men are men that are blood covenant men that gave their best to God to receive the best of God. And those demons came out. And they look at me. Don't annoy me. Don't annoy me. They get a slap. The kind of beating that they gave to these guys, you will never believe that it's demon that is beating man like this. Are you with me? That is what many of us, that is the position of many of us now. We are confronting the powers of darkness without becoming a blood covenant man. I told my wife something, that in this world you need to be very wicked. It's only men that drink blood that are wicked. Are you with me? If you are not wicked in this world, you will die before your time. Are you with me, somebody? You will die before your time. Because I noticed that she was always following sympathy, emotion, and saying, see, this ministry we are doing, we don't follow emotions and sympathy. If I have known who you are, if I have heard the voice of God, I follow that step. It takes a wicked and a bold heart to follow God that way. You're not with me. When God says, disconnect from that individual, he or she is a bad person, and you say, God, but he's a good person. He has money, he gives me money, and God will say, no, disconnect. He say, no, God is a good person, because you are judging God with your mind. A man that follows God with his mind, that man is an emotional man, and that man will eventually be destroyed. Saul was a man that was full of emotion, and when Saul went to battle to destroy the Amalekite, the Bible said that there was a specific instruction given to Saul, that Saul destroyed the Amalekite completely. Do you know why God said that? Over 400 years back, the children of Israel were coming out from Egypt, and when they were coming out from Egypt, the Amalekites took their guns, took their knife, carried their cutlass, and began to kill the Israelites. They didn't do anything. They were just on their way to their promised land, and these guys came out with their guns and everything. They began to kill them, and they had to run back to fortify, to come back and fight. And after they won that battle, God made it a law and an ordination that he swore by himself that he will clear off the whole of Amalekites. And after 400 years and more, the Israelites were established. It was not time for the Amalekites to be destroyed. And the Bible said that Saul was the man that was given that assignment. And he went, and the people said, don't you see fat cow? And so say, the cow is fat. He subjects himself to emotions. He said, don't you see how the women are beautiful? He said, they are really beautiful. He said, gather them. He said, the king, leave the king, bring him back home. And the king, he was meant to kill the king. And he brought the king back home. And Samuel came, says, Saul, what have you done? Because of this thing, your kingdom has been rent away from me and given to another man. He lost his place of destiny because he was following God with emotions. And because of that one disobedience of Saul, we saw that during the days of Esther, there was a man called Haman, the son of Agag. Oh, you're not with me. There was a man called Haman, the son of what? Of Agag. I see the Agag he refused to kill, now produced another seed. And that seed had the story of what the Israelites did to the children of Amalekites. And he too now said that he want to wipe out the whole of the whole of the children of Israel. And the Bible said that there was somebody called Esther, and the Bible said that she was prepared for that hour. Oh my God, oh my God, she was prepared for that hour. You have been prepared for an hour. You have been prepared for a season, and when that season comes, you will manifest. In the name of Jesus Christ. So she has been prepared for that hour, and we saw that because of Esther, those people were not killed. The children of Israel were saved. When you follow God with emotions, I tell you that you will miss your place in destiny. Are you with me, somebody? You will miss your place in what? In destiny. You will lose your place in destiny. So you now, you are not trying to fight the witches, and they hold your neck. And when they hold your neck, you call Jesus 100 times. Jesus did not respond to you. And when you wake up from that kind of way, ask yourself one question: do I have a serious covenant relationship with God? If you do, as you speak, it will look as if it is God that is speaking, and the words will back off. Somebody was telling me something. Okay, was sharing that with my wife, and he was telling my wife that he was in a dream, and in that dream, a demon was fighting with him. Then the demon held him down, and the demon wanted to kill him. Then he had to start crying out and calling Jesus, and Jesus looked at him and said, "This boy, you are not yet ready for life." And Jesus, the Spirit of the Lord now spoke to him in that revelation and said that, "Why don't you call the name of your pastor?" And he said, "Why will I call the name of my pastor? That's you are higher than my pastor." And he said, "No, call his name." And the moment he said Apostle Emmanuel, the Greek, all the demons that were holding him down left. Are you with me, somebody? Because the man of God already have a blood covenant relationship with God. And that was why the Bible said that after Jesus made himself of no reputation, he took upon him this form of a servant and was made in the likeness of man. That he went to the cross and he died. And the Bible said that now a name that is above every other name has been given to him. That when that name is mentioned, demons under the earth will bow. Demons in heaven will bow. Demons in hell will bow. Demons in the water will bow. Wherever they are, they will bow. Because that name has been established with a blood covenant relationship. Oh, you are not with me. You are not with me. The reason why names of men walk in the place of prayer, and that is why you hear people say, "I call on the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Please help me right now." The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The reason why he will respond to it is because those men, they have a blood covenant relationship with God. The day you establish a blood covenant relationship with God, your name will become power. Your clothes will become power. Your movement will become power. Everything will become like God. You move and you walk like God. And that was why the Bible said that we move and we live in what? We live in it and we have our being. Are you with me, somebody? Everything about you will become like God. When you take a step, it will look as if it is God that is taking a step. When you take a walk, it will look as if it's God that is walking it. When you put on a cloth, it will look as if it is the cloth of God. Are you with me, somebody? And that was why the Bible said that the apron and the mantle that came out from the apostle healed the sick. Are you with me, somebody? And the Bible also said that when Peter was passing by, that the people knew that Peter was coming, and they had to keep the sick men, keep people that are dead. And they said, "Peter is walking, he's passing here." Now this is not Jesus. This is Peter. This is Peter, the servant to Jesus. And when he was walking by, the Bible said that he said to heal all the sick and raise the dead. Because Peter was a blood covenant man. And that was why David was so surprised that the Goliath, uncircumcised Goliath, men that have no authority with God, are defying men that has authority with God. And that was why the Bible said that he has seen an arrow under the sword. Oh, the kings are walking on foot and servants are riding on chariots. That woe is that kingdom, woe is that city, that his king is still in charge. Oh my God. That their king is still what? Is still a child. When a king is a child, it means that the king does not understand his place as a king. And that was what the Bible says in Galatians chapter 3. He said that when the head is still a child, that the throne will be kept one place, and until the head grow up and become mature, then the throne will be given to him. Are you with me, somebody? and his throne will be given to him. So when a king is still a child, he doesn't understand his covenant relationship with God. The Bible said that woe to that city. Calamity upon calamity will be befalling people there. But that is a king. That is a king. So as a child of God, you are a blood covenant man and a blood covenant woman. God deals with you with covenant. If you want to be powerful in whatever you are doing, in that business, establish a blood covenant relationship. And how do you do that? Say, God, make sure when you are doing it, give God your best, so that God will give you his what? His best. Don't tell God that, God, if you do this thing for me, I will worship you all the days of my life. Which we know that it is a possibility. It's very easy. But when you tell God, I say, God, if you do this thing for me, my first son, I sacrifice him to you. And the Bible said that Hannah was looking for a child. Hannah was looking for what? For a child for many years. And Peninnah was insulting Hannah because Peninnah had 5 children. And the Bible said that Hannah was always going to Shiloh. Hannah was always going to Shiloh. But why is it that nothing happened? But one day Hannah went to Shiloh. She did something different from what she has been doing before. She entered into a blood covenant relationship with God and said, God, if you give me this child, I will give it back to you. And the moment Hannah made that covenant, the Bible said that the womb of Hannah was open. And when her womb was open, the Bible said that Hannah gave birth to Prophet Samuel. And when Prophet Samuel was of age, she took Prophet Samuel back to God. And when she took it back to God, she gave God her birth. And God released 5 more children to her. Oh my God. This is somebody deliverance today. This is somebody deliverance today. This is somebody deliverance today. Jesus Christ. I don't know what you are looking for. Why don't you enter into a blood covenant relationship with God? You don't need to sacrifice chicken. All you have to do is to take your best. Your best is the blood. Are you with me? Your best is what? Is the blood. When you take your best and you slaughter it, God will release his best into you. And you begin to operate in the frequency of divinity. Are you with me, somebody? You begin to operate in the frequency of divinity. And that was how Hannah got 5 more children, because she did something different. She established a blood covenant relationship with God. I was in a terrible lack. Even morning to eat was very difficult. I prayed so hard. And one day God opened a door for me. And when God opened the door, that person decided to favor me. And I just prayed for the person, and that person got breakthrough. So the person decided to favor me, gave me hundreds of thousands. And when that person gave me that money, I went. I didn't spend the money. I went to establish a blood covenant relationship. I went, I took the whole money. I said, God, as I give this money, please begin to provide for me. And I promise you, every year, every January, I will give the same money. Brethren, I made that sacrifice. I came back with tears in my eyes because there was still nothing to eat again. But after 3 weeks, things began to happen. God began to move. Doors began to open. Men began to respond. Are you with me? They don't know when they are responding. You don't need to know why you are responding. You just have to respond because a spirit is involved. Are you with me, somebody? Because a spirit is involved. I have gone to give my best. Even though you don't like me, when you see me, you want to bless me. Are you with me? Even though you don't like me, when you see me, you want to bless me. Even though you don't like me, you talk about me. When I arrive, when I land, you will keep quiet and bless me. Because a spirit is what? Is involved. Are you with me? Do you like to know how did he enter six? You don't need to like him. He knows what he's doing. Go and check the history. You will know more about him. Are you with me, somebody? You don't need to like them. Are you with me? Because they have paid their price and the spirit is involved. And God shall visit you today. The Lord shall visit you today. The Lord shall visit you today. As long as I keep to that covenant, I saw that God was always opening door for me. When I decided that my expenses was too much, I didn't want to do it that. I suffered for another 3 months. But the moment I did that, the heavens opened again because it's a covenant. Can you rise up on your feet, somebody? This is somebody's change today. This is going to change your story today. If only you can establish a relationship, covenant with God, and you tell God that I will consistently do this for you if you do this for me. And whatever you have vowed, whatever you are putting in place is actually your best, then you will see God visiting you. Are you with me? You will see God what? Visiting you. You need a child, and all you have to do is to establish a covenant. When you establish a covenant, whatever that makes the Hebrew woman to give birth with ease, will give birth with ease. Are you with me, somebody?
Yes,
Even if you have been having bad dreams, covenant has the capacity to abolish bad dreams. Are you with me, somebody? Has the capacity to abolish bad dreams. Do you know how many times that the devil has told me that you are going to die, but I am still standing here today because I am not standing here by power. I am standing here by the spirit of covenants. I don't care what the enemy has said to you. What they have said to you does not matter now. What matters is that the spirit of covenant is here today. If only you can acknowledge the spirit of covenant. If only you can pay attention to the spirit of covenant. If only you can do what a covenant man or a covenant woman is saying. The spirit of covenant shall work for you. It shall work for you. It shall work for you. It shall work for you. Who say that the job that you are using to get food, the business that you are using to get food, that will take it away from you, that will subdue you, because you are here today, I scatter them. Let them be destroyed. Let them be scattered. Whosoever that is here this morning, by the spirit of covenant, by the spirit of covenant, at work in Jethro Liberation Ministry, and the enemy is troubling your body, the enemy is troubling your legs, the enemy is troubling your head, the enemy is troubling any aspect of your body. Receive it.